Hi guys, it's Patricia, your independent Scentsy consultant from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. Today I'm bringing to you a combined warm review video. We're going to do the 3 bars of the Fireside Trio, and we're also going to cover the 3 new bricks. What I will do is we'll do the Fireside Trio first, and then I'll do the bricks. I'll put a timestamp where the bricks start if you're only interested in that portion. But anyway, let's get started. So the Fireside Trio comes in this box. It's a limited time only offer. You have to buy it in a bundle of 3, but you can put the bars in your Scentsy club. And as I film this video, it is still available. So we're gonna do the bars one at a time. The first bar that we're gonna talk about is Brown Sugar Praline. So this is a light brown wax. So I warmed 5 out of the 8 cubes in 2 different locations. On cold snip, this is pretty strong, and I would put it in the bakery category. The scent description is decadent layers of praline and brown sugar finished by the perfect dash of spice. So, praline. Praline is a confection that has basically nuts and sugar, sometimes cream. It's very different from, say, Belgium, France, the US. Different. In the US, it's usually made with pecans, and it's kind of the consistency of fudge. In France, it could be made with almonds. But you kind of get my drift. I think in France and Belgium, it's a little bit more caramelized sugar. It's a little bit harder and crunchier. So we have brown sugar, so we know that we're involving a little bit of a molasses because brown sugar has a little bit of molasses. And spice. We're not really listing what spice is in here, but if I had to guess, I would say nutmeg, maybe a little ginger. That's my guess. I don't get any cinnamon or anything like that. So the first place I put this in was my son's room. I took 3 cubes and put it there. Whoa. Strength and throw. Good 9 out of 10. Within about 15 minutes of putting it in the warmer, I could smell it leaving my son's room. I was in my living room area. I could smell it in my living room. So this one is a boomer. And in my son's room, I left it going 3 days, 35 hours. Then I also put 2 cubes in my bonus room, which is a notoriously tricky area. A little bit lower there for strength and throw, 8.5 out of 10. I left it going 4 days, start and stop, 27 hours altogether. So yes, it kind of lessened in intensity faster in the bonus room too, but that room is kind of colder. So cold rooms don't kind of carry the scent as well as if the room is slightly warmer. All right, so the strange thing about this scent is you definitely get a caramelized sugar, maybe even a bitterness. You get brown sugar and you get minimal spice. I think the spice is just there as like a base note, but you definitely get sugar, caramelized sugar. It's pretty strong. It borders lines on bitter. It smells like when you brulee the top of a creme brulee and maybe hold it in one area a little too long. It almost hints at like a burnt coffee smell or like a chocolate that's seized. It has weird tones to it. I'm not sure about this one, but if you're the kind of person that likes something that's nutty like Central Park pralines, or if you like, you know, caramel, coffee, slightly rich tones, something like a mocha doodle, this may be up your alley. They're different, but you may enjoy this. I would probably stick to big areas for this type of scent because it is very, very strong. So open concept layouts, family rooms, maybe kitchen. You could even start with slightly less cubes with this scent. You could mix this with a coffee scent, a strong, bitter coffee scent. It'll help sweeten it up. It might bring it to a little bit too much bitterness. You'd have to fiddle around and maybe add a little bit vanilla as well. You could probably add this to something like Hug in a Mug, or even a vanilla-based scent to just tone it down slightly. Will I repurchase this? I don't think so. I have one other set of this, so I think I'm definitely good on Brown Sugar Praline. A little bit of a different kind of scent. It almost has many different layers and it can be interpreted in many different ways. So I think we might hear different reviews on this from different people. So definitely make sure you check with many YouTubers before deciding if you're going to put that one in your Scentsy club. The next scent we're going to talk about is Evergreen and Grapefruit. This is a light green colored wax. Very pretty packaging on this one. This one on cold sniff, just smelling it like this, is about a medium to strong, maybe closer to strong. And I would put it in a woodsy category. The scent notes are fresh fir needles and white cedar sparkle with radiant notes of grapefruit. So we have fir needle, we have white cedar, and we have grapefruit. So we kind of have 2 tree notes and then a citrus. Now, Some people don't like grapefruit, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't really want to have grapefruit with a tree scent. They've actually done that in, what's it called? The other one that we have in the catalog, not ice pine, not very snowy spruce. Farm stand fir. Is it farm stand fir? Anyway, you know what I mean. I'll put it down below. That one has grapefruit in it, so they're kind of piggybacking on that idea. So this one is nice. You smell like the fir needles. It's not overpowering. I feel you can almost smell like the bark of the tree a little bit. But again, it's very nice and pleasant. And it's a bright tree scent. The citrus helps brighten it up. It feels fresh and clean. It's not really my jam exactly. I prefer tree scents with a little bit of mint. But if you like tree scents that aren't overly heavy, the citrus in this helps brighten it up, and you don't really know that it's grapefruit. So you definitely get tree notes. You know that it's bright and fresh, but you don't really doesn't really read grapefruit. So what I did was I used 6 cubes out of this. So my open concept space, I put 4 cubes. Strength of throw was a bit lower than I was expecting there. It was only about 6 out of 10, and it kind of fluctuated. I left it going 2 days, 19 hours. So it didn't do the greatest in my open layout. But I put it here in my bedroom, and it was like about 8 out of 10. Smaller room, doors, did really well, and it was never ending in here. I had it going 50 hours over 3 days, and it still had scent, and I said, you know what, I just got to move on. This is not the kind of scent that I want to warm in my bedroom. I want to warm this downstairs in my big area. So for me, it's not suitable. But if you have a smaller family room or something like that you want to warm a tree scent, then this might work really well for you. It's fresh and clean tree scent. So if you're someone that likes Christmas cactus or farmhouse fir, you might like this. Even if you're someone that likes something like very snowy spruce, you might also like this. So again, probably main living areas that aren't super big. Would you mix this with anything? I don't really think you need to. You could probably mix it with a straightforward very snowy spruce if you wanted. And will this be a repurchase for me? No. One thing I want to say about tree scents is you could smell 10 different tree scents and you might really prefer one over the other 9, and there could just be slight differences between them all if you're someone that likes tree scents. So usually with tree scents, you just have to smell a whole bunch and you're going to find one that you like. It's kind of the same for me with aquatic scents. Sometimes they all smell alike, but I'll find one, an aquatic fresh style scent, and I really like it. So yeah, you might have to do that. You can try it out. You can put it in your Scentsy club. If you don't like it, you can always remove it. Okay, so the last scent in the Fireside trio is Hazelnut Frosting. This one here is a kind of like a beige color wax, creamy beige. And I would put this in the bakery category. This one on cold sniff is about a medium. And the scent notes, it says, heavenly hazelnut creme whipped with golden vanilla and a hint of ginger. So we have hazelnut creme, I think. It's got the accent, is it grave? Anyway, it could be hazelnut cream, but I think they pronounce it creme. And then we have golden vanilla and we have ginger, just a hint of ginger. I don't really get ginger, but there's a special little something in here, and it might be like a slight dusting of ginger that my nose doesn't really pick up on, but it works really well with the other 2 scents. The hazelnut, it just gives a warmth to me. You can smell a nuttiness. I love nuts in scents, so I'm okay with it. And then it's like a nice vanilla frosting. So it's a little bit different than vanilla bean buttercream because of the hazelnut and the tiny little magical dusting of ginger that my nose doesn't read as ginger, but it just reads as something great. So I really, really, really liked this scent. Like, I really liked it. So I put it in my son's room, 3 cubes, and I had it going there 3 days, 30 hours. Strength and throw was about 7.5 there. Now I also put 2 cubes in my room, and strength of throw here was 7.5 out of 10. I had it going 3 days, 38 hours, but it was really only strong for about the first 12, and then it was a really, really low level vanilla. But because I love vanilla scents, I kept it in and just enjoyed it and savored it. But really, the first 12 hours were pretty strong, and then the rest of the time it was pretty weak. So if you're someone that likes vanilla bean buttercream or sugar cookie, you're probably going to like this, but you have to like a little bit of nuttiness because there is that tiny bit of nuttiness, but it just gives that nice warmth to the scent. This would be great in like a kitchen or an entranceway because it just reads nice and warm and inviting. You could warm it in a bedroom if you like that kind of scent in a bedroom. I don't know if it would stand up in an open concept area, so you could probably add this to a scent that does have ginger. Maybe it would accent the ginger, or you could add this as a mixer because this type of scent is an excellent mixer. It kind of reads a slight twist of a vanilla bean buttercream. And for me, I put this in my Scentsy Club, and I put it in one of my 6-packs that I kind of call it my 18, like one that I'm probably not going to remove for a while. So that is hazelnut frosting. And you're probably thinking, well, you used 2 cubes in one area and 3 cubes in another. What happened to the other 2 cubes? I put them somewhere else in my house. Where did I put them? I put them in my bonus room and totally forgot to keep track of anything. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to warm it somewhere else. But yeah, I have 1 cube left. It's in my club, and I have another pack. So that is the Fireside Christmas collection. For me, the true winner is hazelnut frosting. And the other 2 were just okay for me. This was super, super strong, and this was long lasting. So it depends on what you're looking for. Okay, so now we're going to move to the part of the video where I'm going to discuss the 3 new brick scents from the holiday release of bricks. So the first one we're going to cover is this big bad boy of Candy Cane Wishes. And I didn't warm all of this. I did sample a little bit out, but I made sure I warmed it in 2 locations, and then I figured I could kind of let you know how it's doing. So this one here, on cold, is pretty strong. I would say medium to strong. I would say pretty strong. And I would put it in the fresh category because it's minty. And the scent description for this, I'll try not to get a glare, it says visions of sparkling sugar crystals, mighty peppermint, and icy musk. So we have sugar crystals. I think it says sparkling because I picture it to be those big sugar crystals, like the ones that are decorative and they kind of glisten on baked goods. I pictured that's what they were talking about, the sugar crystals. Peppermint. Oh yeah, there's definitely peppermint in here. And icy musk, I think that comes in at the end. It's a base note. So when I put this in the warmer, I would say it's at least like, it feels to me like it's 2/3 peppermint, and then there's like a sweetness with sugary vanilla that kind of sweetens it up a little bit. Maybe just a small percentage, and then at the very end there's a very small percentage of the icy musk. On cold sniff, I felt like I could get a lot of icy musk, but when warming it, it was mostly peppermint at the beginning. Icy musk came later. So I put it in my daughter's room first. Strength and throw there was about 8.5 out of 10, and I left it going there 2 days, 22 hours altogether. Now I put a whole thing in my open concept area, and it was about 8 out of 10 for strength in there. I had it going 2 days, just 11 hours. So what happened was I put it in, and like I said, it was about 8 out of 10 max, and then I had to leave. When I came home, I said, why does our house smell so minty? I felt like I was at the dental office because I work at a dental office. And then I remembered this is what I had going. So this was definitely noticeable, and that was probably maybe 5 to 6 hours after I started it. Now, then I let it go for the rest of the night, like turned it off before I went to bed. The next morning, which was this morning, I turned it on, and it didn't really kick into that peppermint mode at all. It was just mainly musky. Like I would be standing next to a warmer, maybe about 3 or 4 feet, doing the dishes. I could smell musk. I'm like, where's that coming from? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's this. So it definitely does read a little bit Silver Bells towards the end, but you still get like a little bit more of a kick. So when people say it's a mix of something like a Peppermint Rush with the Silver Bells, I feel like it's Peppermint Rush at the beginning with a slight bit more vanilla and sweetness. And then at the end, it's more like Silver Bells with a little bit more mintiness, if that makes any sense. If you like either of those scents, I think you're gonna like this. If you like Perfect Peppermint, you're probably gonna like this. I prefer this to Perfect Peppermint, and I may prefer Peppermint Rush to this, but they're pretty close. I like this quite a bit. It's pretty high on scent appeal for me because I like peppermint scents. I would probably stick to rooms that are kind of medium. And with this scent, because it's kind of 2-tiered, like it's like peppermint and then it's like musk. So what you could do is if you put it in your bedroom, started it in the morning, the peppermint will really be invigorating and wake you up. And then as the peppermint influence dies down, the musk part is going to kick in towards the end of the day when you need that relaxing musky influence. So that might be where I'm going to use this. I liked it in my open concept layout. It didn't seem to last very long there because it kind of just dissipated and eventually got lost as it kind of transitioned. That was just my experience. It did a little bit better in a smaller room, which was my daughter's room. So anyway, one thing about peppermint scents is you can add this to a lot of things. You can add this to strawberry. You can add this to vanilla. You can add it to lavender. There's so many things. If you're ever unsure, vendor wax companies add peppermint to pretty much everything. Well, not everything, but it's just a nice minty freshness. Makes things feel clean. It's almost like the winter version of a citrus, peppermint is. It's very nice, fresh, clean, invigorating type of scent. It's not for everybody, but I definitely like it. Will I repurchase more? Yes. I put this in my Scentsy club. I really like this one. Okay, so the next brick we're going to talk about is caramel sugar cookie. And look at the size of this sucker. Again, I use the same amount of wax. I have some notes down here just to refer because sometimes I write things down. So this one here on Cold Sniff, I remember I got a really distinct scent memory with this on cold, but it does change a little bit. On cold, it really reminded me of butterscotch chips, which I find are a little bit artificial. I would definitely put this in the bakery category. So the scent notes are buttery notes of creamy caramel and vanilla bean, dusted with a touch of sugar. So I want to say that we should definitely mention there's buttery notes. That should be a scent note. Buttery notes, creamy caramel, vanilla bean, and sugar. So what happened was I put this in, and about 30 minutes after I put it in my open concept layout, you could definitely smell the sweetness. It was like very sweet, overly sweet, almost like toothache sweetness. Put your dentist on speed dial if you love the scent. The buttery richness and that caramel, oh my gosh, is it ever heavy? It's heavy and sweet. I hate to use the word cloying, but it's almost that kind of vibe for the first 2 hours. I kind of associate it with someone like Paula Deen. When Paula Deen cooked, she used a ton of butter, a ton of sugar. Everything was over the top. And that's what this is. It's rich, buttery, sugary, sweet. But then it kind of, in my open concept layout anyway, it just kind of mellows out after a while into a nice, beautiful, creamy caramel. And then later into a beautiful cookie. So the first 2 hours were a little bit intense, but the rest were really, really nice for me. So in my open concept layout, I only left it going for 10 hours over 2 days because then eventually it's just like a very, very light cookie scent. And in my big area, it gets lost. But I definitely liked it a lot. This would be something that when I'm craving a very sweet, creamy, sugary, decadent scent, I will probably put this in. It's not something I'm going to crave every day. So I also put it in my bonus room. I should say strength and throw in my big area was about 8.5 out of 10. Strength and throw in my bonus room was about 9 out of 10. It's a smaller area, walls and doors. I left that one going quite a bit longer. I left it going 4 days, 26 hours. Start and stop, start and stop. It just kind of kept that like sugar cookie vibe going quite a bit longer. And I wasn't in the room a lot with it during that one, but it was definitely strong. You could smell it. It did travel as well, so it is a pretty good thrower. But in my experience, in a big area, it does kind of get lost through the air after a while. If you're someone that likes caramel vanilla delight, you may like this. It is definitely different. The rum and caramel vanilla delight kind of lifts that note up a little bit, makes it less heavy. This is even heavier. If you like caramel apple craze, you may like this. If you like butter pecan or an old scent like dulce de leche, you may like this. So I would stick to big areas if you want to kind of dilute that intensity, and if you want it to last longer and you don't mind the intensity, you could put it in smaller zones. But it is definitely a bakery scent. It's definitely a sugary scent. It would be great mixed with coffee. Something like this I'm definitely going to be using to mix with coffee. Something like Scentsy's Coffee Tree would be wonderful. And will I repurchase this? At first I didn't think I was going to, but then as it was warming, I definitely made the decision that I would. So yes, I really do like caramel sugar cookie, more so after the first 2 hours. Okay, so the last brick that we're going to discuss is called Sugarplumberry. And I am intrigued by the one word of Sugarplumberry. It feels like it should be broken up. Now, let's just talk about the elephant in the room with this one. Everyone was a little bit surprised at this when they smelled it because we were thinking it was going to be very fruity influence. And then when you smell it, it's very tree-like. So I definitely put this in the woodsy category. It's definitely medium to strong on cold sniff. I'll read you the scent notes. It says, a jolly holiday brew of spiced citrus peels, evergreen berries, sugar plums, and cinnamon sticks. So the first thing that hit me was a strong evergreen note. It's definitely strong. I would say, I want to say like maybe 2/3. It's hard to say, but immediately it reminded me of Blue Christmas. And Blue Christmas has like citrus and fir and has cinnamon. And I never smell cinnamon in Blue Christmas, and I don't really smell it in here. So for any of you cinnamon scared people, you might still enjoy this scent. But Blue Christmas to me almost reminded me of like a fresh, clean Christmas scent, and I get that with this. The only difference is I get something that reminds me of, and I was racking my brain, what does it remind me of? What is the closest thing that it reminds me of? The purple part. It really kind of reminds me of like a black raspberry or something like a black cherry Merlot from Bath & Body Works in with a Christmas tree scent. So if somebody said, what does Sugarplumberry smell like to you, Patricia? I would say, if you're familiar with Scentsy's Blue Christmas, it smells like that with maybe the black raspberry part of black raspberry vanilla added to it, but no vanilla. Or I'd say similar to Blue Christmas with the addition of black cherry Merlot from Bath & Body Works. That's my best guess. Basically, it's like a clean, evergreen Christmas smell. I think the citrus is doing that with some sweetness, but also a tart berry of some sort, a black raspberry, a black cherry. I think black cherry Merlot, the reason I think that is the Merlot part gives it more of a black raspberry feel to me. So it doesn't really smell like black cherry, but it smells to me like black cherry Merlot from Bath & Body Works. Anyway, that's the best I can do. Now, one thing I found is this is pretty strong in the warmer. I almost felt a little bit nauseated at times because my nose picked it up as quite strong. So what I did was I put it in my open concept layout. Strength and throw there was between 9 and 9.5 for me. It was pretty strong. I left it going 22 hours over 2 days. It did die down into that mellow, almost like black raspberry tone, some of the tree notes left. In my mudroom and laundry room, I put it there. It was about 9 to 9.5 out of 10 in that room as well, which is in mini warmer. I left it going almost the same amount of time, 21 hours over 2 days. So yeah, if you're someone that likes Christmas tree scents and you like something like black raspberry vanilla, take out the vanilla, but add that kind of note in there, and that's kind of what you get with this. Mostly tree, a little bit of the fruit, a little bit of sweetness, no cinnamon, and the citrus reads clean to me. So you could probably warm this in big areas would be best, because to me it's pretty strong. And if you're someone that wants to dilute some of the tree note, you could actually try adding black raspberry vanilla from Scentsy and see what you think. I haven't tried that myself, but yeah, that's what you could do. And will I repurchase this? No, it's not that I didn't like it. I just found it a bit too intense, and I don't tend to warm like a lot of Christmas tree scents with fruit very often. I actually, if I had to pick which my favorite Christmas tree with fruit scent would be, hands down it would probably be Be Merry. So I did remove this one from my Scentsy Club. So yeah, in summary with the bricks, I would say the strong bricks, they're all strong. All three are strong. Maybe this one was the longest lasting in my open concept layout. And the other two were not as long lasting for me. I find a lot of the stronger scents, they're usually boom out of the gate and then they do tend to dissipate. It's hard to stay that strong for a while. The only one that I can really think off the top of my head that's strong and stays strong for quite a while is Fiddle Leaf Fig, and that's not a brick scent. Just an example for you. So anyway, thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. If this video was helpful, consider giving me a thumbs up. If you're new, please consider subscribing and let me know how you guys made out with any of these 6 scents. I'm eager to hear what your feedback is. I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.